Today I messed up by burning my wife's back door during sex. So this past summer we grew a bunch of hot peppers in our garden for our salsa making. With some of the leftover peppers, we dried them out. Today I decided to use the food processor to grind the dried peppers down to do our own type of crushed red pepper flakes. Now these peppers are hot, so when I open the lid of the food processor, it wafts up and stings your eyes. I don't think much of that and continue to transfer them into a small container for later use. Using my hands and still washing them after, the oil stayed on my fingers. I was made aware of this as I itched my eyes and it definitely burned. Fast forward to this evening. My wife and I are getting busy and I turn her around. All is going well and my hands begin to wander. As I am going at it and my thumb is pressed on that area, she eventually yells out, "My ass is burning." As she is laughing, she's like, "You remember those peppers you were grinding up earlier?" I apologize profusely as it totally spaced my mind and she continues to describe how it is like as if I put icy hot on her asshole. She said it wasn't too bad, so that made me feel less guilty. Today I messed up by putting raw eggs in my kids' lunch instead of hard-boiled. This actually happened yesterday but I just found out just now. My son, 7, is becoming more independent and now makes his lunch, but sometimes is how you may imagine a 7-year-old would pack it. Normally he makes a sandwich but this time it was just goldfish, applesauce, and blueberries. I knew he'd be hungry without more food, so I looked in the fridge and tried to convince him to take some leftovers. There were a few options, but he said he wouldn't be hungry and didn't want anything I suggested. I noticed a tall plastic container filled with about 6 eggs in it. My girlfriend makes hard-boiled eggs often, next to a small dish with 2 more eggs, so I offered those in case he gets hungry. He agreed, packed up, I take him to school, goes to his mom's house and I don't think about it again. Fast forward to today. I picked him up from school and during dinner my kid, my girlfriend, and I are sitting down when she looked in the fridge and asked me if I made eggs recently. I said I put some of the hard-boiled ones in his lunchbox when he turns to me and yells, "UHH, they were raw you." Instantly, I realized what happened, flashback style. I'm recalling all the details I can, shaking the egg to make sure it felt solid before giving it to him. It did, grabbing eggs from the dish instead of the container. I am realizing exactly how I messed up while my girlfriend is laughing her ass off. The mental image of the kiddo cracking the egg, perhaps rolling it back and forth to break the shell all the way around, expecting a hard egg but ending up with goopy, icky rawness all over, is too much. We're both laughing hysterically, thank God he wasn't more pissed off. I messed up too long. Didn't read. Today I messed up by accidentally sending my kid to school with raw eggs in his lunch instead of hard-boiled and he cracked them open in hilarious fashion. Today I messed up by donating to Goodwill. Jesus, I feel terrible. So I was with my mom and we were heading to Goodwill to drop off some old clothes of ours. Everything was fine until we got back home. So before this, me and my twin sister cleaned our rooms and filled a garbage bag with trash, the same looking garbage bag we had our clothes in. So, on the way out to Goodwill, I apparently grabbed the trash bag and donated pure, rotting, disgusting trash instead of clothes. My sister saw my mistake and tried calling my mom or me to warn us, but it was too late. Once we got home, my sister showed the bag of clothes and my mom freaked. She grabbed the bag of clothes and me and headed back to Goodwill. My mom and I got the dirtiest of looks from workers and we gave the right bag. We tried to explain the situation but got cut off with, "You can leave now." My mom and I agreed to never return to that Goodwill ever again. Too long. Didn't read. Donated trash instead of clothes at a Goodwill. Edit, I did not know Goodwill was bad. I haven't heard of Salvation Army but I'll talk to my mom about it and donate more to there. Again, thank you guys for recommending different charities and informing me how bad it is. Thank you. Edit 2, so Salvation Army is shitty too apparently. I guess we will probably just donate to local animal shelters and homeless shelters. Today I messed up by asking my boyfriend to grab a couple things from the store for me. So, about a week before these events transpired, I, 21-year-old female, had gotten a new tattoo. Fast forward a couple days, and my boyfriend, 21-year-old male, and I had both come down with a cold, nothing major, but we were both pretty sick. At this point, we are a couple days into our cold, and the only symptoms we have left are essentially a mild cough and a slightly runny nose, so my boyfriend decides to go back to work. I was still staying home, and, innocently enough, asked him to grab me some tissues on the way home from work, since we were running low. The day goes on, and I start doing my normal tattoo care, when I notice I'm running low on lotion. Then I remembered my boyfriend is already going to the store. Perfect. I text him, "Hey, can you grab me lotion for my tattoo as well, please?" Thinking nothing of it. He gets home from work later in the day, and sets the items I asked for on the bedside table, and then I notice the conspicuous relationship between the items, and make a little joke about it. My boyfriend then, quite embarrassedly, admits that he got a couple weird looks while shopping. The first being when a worker came up to him at the store, it was a little drugstore, and asked if he needed anything, looked at the 2 items he was holding, made a face at him, and just walked away. And then later when he was leaving the store, dropped the lotion, and a nice older woman picked it up to hand back to him, saw the tissues in his hand, and chuckled before walking away. Too long. Didn't read. I asked my 21-year-old boyfriend to grab me tissues from the store, and then later asked him to grab lotion as well, without realizing the implication. He ends up with a couple awkward encounters at the drugstore.